Because our studio has got massive skylights in, don't worry about the exposure on this camera. It's going to be going from light to dark. Just worry about what I'm doing on screen at the moment. I wanted to set everything up really quick so we can be as efficient as possible. And just to provide some clarity, I probably spent about 20 minutes setting up the studio this morning and setting up all the products before I got Nathan involved to start filming. So we're around about 40 to 45 minutes into this project so far. And I really think this edit is going to take 5 to 10 minutes at the maximum because we kept such a simple plan. So let's jump into it and I'll talk you through how I've set this up. So as you can see down the side here, I've got my folders, I've got my sequence where we've got that open in, just a 25 frame 4K timeline. I've got the FS7 with all of the clips in, and as you can see, there's not that many clips, so it's not gonna take that long. If I didn't have a clear plan and a simple plan to begin with, I would have probably had at least twice the amount of clips that we've actually got, which means that your editing process is even longer by default. Below that, I've got the logo assets from the company and then music. Now, I want to talk about this because a lot of people can spend a lot of time trying to find the right music tracks. We use Storyblocks, which is really good for finding music. However, if you've got a low-paying client and a low budget client, then what you need to do is need to think about what projects have you done recently that fit this kind of tonality, and then just take the music from those projects. So then you don't have to spend ages trying to find the perfect track for this client. You can use what you already know works well for a similar type of client and then just use that same music track. So I've got 3 options here that we're going to be going through in a second. So first thing, I always start with the clip. So I'm just going to open up this into a clip here. And because we shot the video sequentially, it's gonna be pretty much in order. Now, every time you see 2 shots, I'm gonna pretty much just jump straight to the second shot, because if we felt the first shot was really good, then we probably wouldn't have redone it. And again, time is money in this particular case, so we're just gonna skim through it. So I wanna get a close-up of the bag being opened, and I'm just gonna do my in and out points just by pressing I and O. And then if I press the comma key, it's going to bring it into here. Sometimes I will go back just to check it and see what it's like, but I think I might even just take this from later on. Cool, okay, so I'm just thinking about the journey of, of the product and what we're trying to replicate. And I actually think just by taking that, that's gonna do a good enough job without the zip needing to be open. I don't think that you need to talk or show the viewer, the audience, exactly the process. I think you can use a bit of creative control just to jump between these things. So next up, once you've got the product in your hand, I need to just undo the poppers, which are here. So I'm just gonna take this bit here, boom, take that, add that to the timeline. I've got some behind the scenes shots here. That's what that was for this YouTube video. So you would have probably already seen some of these. Just gonna check this shot here. No, that's fine, I'm happy for that. Now we go into the side view. So I'm gonna take this from unfolding it. And then when it starts to unroll, that's when we wanted to do this shot. And we want to take it from something like that. We whack that into the timeline, and you can see this video within a matter of maybe, I don't know, 2-3 minutes, we're at a good point of how this video is all coming together nicely. So let's have a little look here. We've got putting a coat into here. This took me quite a few attempts when we were shooting it. So I'm just gonna take it from here. By the way, I'm in 1/8 resolution so that the computer doesn't lag while we're recording the screen. I'm gonna take that section in here. That's probably a little bit long, so I'll look to trim that down. I always like to add all the clips to the timeline before we add music. Now, I quite like this shot, but I'm gonna have a look at this close up because the last shot was a bit of a wider shot. So let's take this shot. We can add this in here. Water bottle, I remember this going in, and because you've literally just shot it, you know what shots aren't probably going to work out that well because it kept creasing the bag, so we didn't get a clean shot, whereas this shot here looks like it could be better if Nathan had filmed it nicer. Right, let's skip across here. I'm not totally happy about that angle, but let's see what this one looks like. Because you can't, I'm concerned that you can't tell that it's necessarily a water bottle, so let's have a look. Maybe we can combine these two angles together.
Okay. So if you take it away, like completely.
Here we go.
And then,
we can go from here. Nice one. Hey, let's undo that. There we go. And then, there we go, just adding that to the timeline. Cool. So we're close to that 15-second mark that we promised the client. So then we've added that in, and we probably want to do something like, let's go pick an album. I think the last one was my personal favorite with my acting performance. So let's take it from there and then walk off. Sweet, that'll do. Let's add that into the timeline. I think we're looking pretty good. So what are we? I don't know, we've got to be about 5 minutes into this at the moment, and it's all looking pretty nice. And then this is what we want to use for the intro shot as it happens. So let's just add this in, and we're going to add a little kind of, what do you call it? Track-in shot, but we're going to digitally do that. So I'm just going to set 2 keyframes. I'm going to, on the scale, so I'm going to do scale as here. I'm actually just going to center this up just a tad. Yeah, cool, that's fine. So I'm going to go from here and then to around about here. I only want it to be for like a second or so. And normally my rule of thumb is to just increase it by like 5 and then to see how it looks. So for me, that's too fast. So I just want to, maybe I'll just do it by a percent or 2. There we go. Just something very, very subtle. Cool, wonderful. Next step, add your music. We've already got that from earlier on. So if I go back to the project in our music clip here, it's just trying to find something that fits the tone. So we've got this one. Now I really like this track. However, I don't think have got enough clips for it to be that punchy. So that's my concern, but I really, really like the sound of that. A bit more corporate-y and very corporate-y. So although that these worked with other previous clients, what's interesting is I just don't think that this one definitely doesn't fit the flow of this video, and it's a bit too, it's a different kind of market. This one is really cool, and perhaps I would try and make this work if I had a little bit more time with it. But this middle one is like a nice middle ground between the two. It's a bit corporate-y, it's a bit upbeat, nothing that detracts away from the product too much. Like I said, it's not gonna be a super high-end Nike advert or anything like that, but we're just looking for something that tells the story. Cool, nice little beat drop there, so let's drag that into the timeline. You guys can add sound effects and things like that if you really wanted to, if you want to spend a bit more time on this. I'm not saying you have to complete it in an hour, I'm just saying that that's what we're doing to make, to get the most value for our money and our expertise. So we're all good now, we'll add the logo at the very end. So now I'm just gonna go through and cut to the music and some listening every time that beat drops. Okay. So if I press A, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just toggle in this track lock, will stop it from moving. And if I press A with Premiere Pro, I can move the whole timeline. So I want that drop to happen here. However, I think that's a bit too much of a long lead up. So I'm going to see if I can get away with it starting from here. Yep, cool, that's fine, that'll do. So there we go, we've saved ourselves like just under a second on that. So. Right, I don't like this shot. It's horrible. You can see it's coming out of another bag, so let's get rid of that. I'm obviously going to do a quick job of this, and I do think there's a fine line between budgets and making it something that could be a portfolio piece. So if you are starting out, then I would suggest maybe spending a little bit longer on it to make sure it's all really polished off well. But if you're already existing business with loads of clients and you're just doing this to keep perhaps a friend happy or a client happy or something like that, then you can be a little bit more rough around the edges with it. This won't feature in our portfolio at the end of the year or our show reel, but for a beginner, it might do. So you just might want to consider that. You don't want to have, if you take this approach to all of your work and try and do it as quickly as possible, you'll very rarely have some really good show reel pieces to show off what is possible when you put budgets to the side. So there we go, nice little cut there. And just constantly playing it back. So again, not having to like babysit the audience through this. We can just, they're poppers. I've undone one popper. I don't need to show them every popper I undo. Let's cut that right down to here. Cool. I'm gonna get rid of that clip. Cool, nice. Looks fine to me. I think they're gonna be happy with this. And again, I know that they're gonna be happy with this because of our communication in the first place. I was very to the point with our simple process of exactly what they're gonna get so that we're all on the same page. If I hadn't been clear about it, and sometimes when you send a video or when you send an email to a client, people have this habit of beating around the bush and not wanting to be upfront and straight and telling them exactly what they're gonna get. But in my experience, that always comes back around to bite you in the arse. So I would definitely suggest just being to the point. This is what you're gonna get, bang, bang, bang. Do you agree, yes or no? So when we send this over, we know that they're gonna love it from the start. Now I've got a few different options of logos here. I'm guessing it's gonna be this one that they sent us. So what I'm gonna introduce here is a color matte, which I'm just gonna select as white. You can change any color you want. I could normally label that as white, but the reason I'm gonna do this is because I'm gonna have this fade in as soon as I walk out of shot. I could, if I wanted to, start to have this create a mask around me so it revealed the logo. But again, in essence of where we are in business at the moment and this particular budget and project, I'm not gonna do that. I'm just gonna keep it very simple and it will still do a good job of that. So let's set a little thing on there, a little fade. Let's put a little fade on this one too. Cool, wonderful. This kind of naturally does its own little thing at the end, but because we're ending it a little bit earlier, what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna set a keyframe here and here. You do that, by the way, by holding down Control, in case you don't know, and then clicking on the timeline. That will set your keyframes. You can do it up in the effects control panel. You can see it's given me 2 keyframes here, but I like to just press the Control button or Command on a Mac and do it that way. Wonderful, cool. All I need to do now is a very quick color grade. So I honestly have got no idea how long this has taken us at the moment, maybe 10 minutes. So we're up to like the last couple of minutes on this. I'm gonna save it as well. We wanna do that. Head over to color, right, let's give it a very quick grade. And same thing applies. I'm not looking to do the absolute best grade in the world. Also, a lot of you are probably gonna moan that I'm not doing this quite properly, but as you can tell, I'm really rushing through it. So please don't judge. I don't want loads of comments of people getting all funny about, oh, you've done this wrong or whatever. I'm just gonna give this a very quick grade so it all starts to look pretty nice. I would normally bring up my Lumetric scopes as well if there's loads, but it's not gonna. So for sure, these screens, by the way, have all been calibrated as well. So we know that it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna take something like this. They're gonna want it really punchy, by the way, and I think I'm gonna make that red come up as well. If you want to see more videos like this, and here's the thing, I know that there are so many videos online on YouTube about like the creative side, so it's why I don't really dive into it. I want this channel to be more about business and the essence of, you know, how you can increase your day rates and all those things. So if you want to see more stuff like this, then yeah, sure, let me know and I can do more things. I've obviously included it in this video because I want to get across what can be achieved within basically an hour of your time. So yes, obviously that's all looking pretty fine. I'm happy with that through the screen. So cool, great stuff. And then I am going to do a copy and paste job and then just change some variables. So I'm going to, obviously I've copied that clip. I'm gonna undo all of these and I just wanna paste the Lumetric colors. Cool, right, this one just needs either brightening up a little bit or the whites bring up a little bit more as well. Very contrasting. I sometimes would go, well, obviously, like, here's the thing. You can go into as much detail as you want, and I think that that's important for your client. I'm gonna actually introduce a very small bit of purple into here. But this is what we are happy with. Cool, same thing applies for this one. Let's just go a bit brighter. Let's go a bit more saturated. Let's push those whites a tad more, and then a small amount of magenta. Cool, nice one. So we're looking good. That is the video. Let me play it through from start to finish, give you an idea of what we've been able to do in this time. If you have found this video useful, you've got any good advice out of this tool, please let me know and hit the subscribe button, because that's the only way we know that what we're doing on the channel is working and you guys enjoy it. So please interact with the channel, become part of the community and press the subscribe button. Let's see what we've been able to achieve in, I guess, under an hour. So let's press play. This strategy is only going to get you so far. If you want to increase your value, especially for social media videos, then you really need to take a look at this video where I uncover the most important factor for social media videos right now that you can charge extra for and start to increase your value. And clients love it too because it increases their engagement and they will get more sales as a result. So go and check that out. Until next time, peace.